Before he became a legend, he was just a boy. Before the world called him the greatest, the world doubted him. Before the titles, the spotlight, and the roar of the crowd, there was struggle. He was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky, on January 17, 1942. He entered a world divided by race, tension, and limitation. But some people are not born to accept the limits placed on them. This is not just the story of a boxer. This is the story of a man who turned pain into power, confidence into identity, and sacrifice into legacy. This is the story of Muhammad Ali. This is Born to Rise. Every great story has a beginning. That seems small at first. For Ali, it began with a bicycle. At the age of 12, his red bicycle was stolen. He was angry, furious. He wanted revenge. He wanted to find whoever took it and fight them. But fate had something else in mind. That anger led him to a local police officer and boxing trainer named Joe Martin. Martin told the young boy that if he wanted to fight, he first had to learn how. That moment changed everything. What began as anger became discipline. What began as loss became direction. Inside the gym, the boy from Louisville found more than punches. He found rhythm. He found movement. He found purpose. And sometimes that is how greatness begins. Not with applause, but with pain. Most fighters were taught to plant their feet and trade punches. But Cassius Clay was different. He moved with speed. No heavyweight should have. He fought with rhythm. He carried himself with unusual confidence. He was fast, flashy, and impossible to ignore. Even before the world fully knew him, he already knew himself. He believed in his own greatness before he had all the proof. And that kind of belief made people uncomfortable. Some called him arrogant. Some laughed at the way he talked. Some thought he was too loud, too bold, too sure of himself. But Ali understood something very early. If you wait for the world to believe in you first, you may wait forever. So he believed in himself loudly, and then he worked hard enough to make that belief real. That was the beginning of the man the world would never forget. By 1960, the world got its first clear look at the future. At just 18 years old, Cassius Clay traveled to the Rome Olympics and competed in the light heavyweight division. He won all 4 of his fights and defeated Zbigniew Peter in the final to claim the gold medal. The kid from Louisville had become an Olympic champion. That medal meant more than victory. It was a message. It said the young dreamer was real. It said his confidence was not madness. It said the world needed to pay attention. But Ali was not made for one moment of glory. He was made for a much bigger stage. When Cassius Clay turned professional, he did not arrive quietly. He predicted rounds. He spoke in rhyme. He called himself beautiful. He called himself great. He told the world who he was long before the world agreed. Then came February 25th, 1964. That night, he stepped into the ring against the feared heavyweight champion, Sonny Liston. Most people expected Clay to lose. Some thought he would be destroyed. But when Liston failed to continue, after the 6th round, the impossible happened. Cassius Clay became the world heavyweight champion. The man people mocked had just proven them wrong. The words that sounded wild now sounded prophetic. The dream had become reality. And one lesson stood above all. Never let people's doubt become louder than your own vision. Soon after winning the title, he made another decision, one even more personal than becoming champion. He converted to Islam, and on March 6, 1964, he took a new name, Muhammad Ali. Many people rejected it. Many refused to call him by that name. Many wanted the champion, but only on their terms. Ali refused. He would not let the world define him. He chose his identity for himself, his faith, his name, his path, and that is why he became more than a sports star. Because real greatness begins when a person stops living for approval and starts living in truth. Then came the hardest decision of his life. In 1967, during the Vietnam War, Muhammad Ali was called to join the U.S. Army. He refused induction, citing his religious beliefs and personal convictions. The punishment was severe. He was stripped of his heavyweight title, barred from boxing, and lost years of his prime career. Think about that. A world champion, forbidden to fight, a man at the peak of his power, pushed aside, a public hero, turned into a target. That is what principle costs. Ali did not lose his career because he was weak. He lost it because he refused to betray what he believed. And that is why his story became bigger than sports. Because a boxer can win fights, but only a man of conviction can lose everything and still stand tall. After years away, Ali returned to boxing. In 1970, he came back older, tested, and carrying the weight of lost time. But he also came back wiser, hungrier, sharper, in a different way. His comeback was not easy. Nothing legendary ever is. In 1971, he fought Joe Frazier in the historic fight of the century. Later, in 1974, he faced the terrifying George Foreman in Zaire. In a bout the world would remember forever, the Rumble in the Jungle. Against the odds, Ali defeated Foreman and reclaimed the heavyweight crown. In 1975, he beat Joe Frazier again in the brutal Thrilla in Manila, one of the most punishing fights in boxing history. He did not just return, he rose again. That is what made Ali extraordinary. Not that he reached the top once, but that after exile, loss, and punishment, he climbed back. Ali's journey was never a perfect straight line. In 1978, he lost the heavyweight title to Leon Spinks, but 7 months later, he won it back, becoming the first fighter to win the World Heavyweight Championship 3 separate times. That achievement meant something deeper than statistics. It proved that greatness is not about never falling. It is about refusing to stay down. Ali's career was full of victory, pain, brilliance, and damage, but the pattern remained the same. Rise, fall, rise again. That pattern is why his story reaches beyond boxing, because every person knows what it means to lose something, a dream, a chance, a season of life, a piece of themselves. Muhammad Ali reminds us that losing a title is not the same as losing your destiny. If Ali had stopped at boxing, he would still be remembered, but he did more, much more. He devoted much of his later life to humanitarian work, peace missions, charity, and public service. He was not only a champion in the ring, he tried to be a champion for humanity. He once said, "Service to others is the rent I pay for my room here on earth." That line explains the man. Ali understood that fame means little if it serves only yourself. Real influence is measured by who you help, not just by who cheers for you. Muhammad Ali passed away on June 3rd, 2016. Muhammad Ali was not born to fit in. He was not born to stay comfortable. He was not born to stay silent.